Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. So, this is not going to be a very long live. Matter of fact, it wasn't even a planned live. But I have taken the time to, review a few of your comments and, some of the things that you guys have had to say. And I want to take a moment to address some things, clarify some things, just, kind of I don't know, give you guys some additional information. So I'm going to give it a second to see about folks kind of getting in the room, and then I'm going to clear some things up and clarify some things so that everyone, is knows, because a lot of the people that are just now following me and a lot of the people who are just now, being introduced to who I am and what I think and what I believe, if you are simply just going through my posts, because I've been doing lives for a significant amount of time now, you may not really know who I am and how I operate and how things and how I believe that things should be. So I want to take this opportunity to share some of those things with you guys and just let everybody kind of, be aware of what's happening. So I'll give it just a second because I can see people are still kind of coming in the room. So I'll give it a second. Good morning, Shayla. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Stephanie. Hey, Tanya. How are you guys? Happy to see you guys this Saturday morning. Like I said, I will not be taking up too much of your time. I just do really feel like it's better for me to address things like right up front, like right at the beginning, because even though this is social media and even though you guys are just following me and those types of things, this is a relationship, especially if you are following me concerning Ballad and all of that, this is a relationship that we're in together. Good morning, Karen. Hi, Donna. Hi, Mary. I know, Chris. Hi, Christopher. Okay, so hey, good morning, Missy. How you doing, boo? So, this over the last couple of weeks, I've covered a lot of information when it comes to the election here in Georgia, and I have, hey, Donna, and I've covered things with regards to, the asylum seekers on their way to the border. I've covered things in reference to Jim Acosta and CNN. I have covered just a lot of stuff, and I've covered a lot about Ballad in the last 3 days, right? Good morning, Karen. You're very welcome. And so I want to be really, really clear, because here's what happens. Inevitably, there are going to be things about what I believe or what I think is correct that you might not always agree with. Like, that's just pretty much the way that it works, right? We're not always going to agree on everything. The things that I hope that we can agree on are the things that come down to basic humanity and basic American freedoms. Okay, so this is where I come down. So I've done lives where I talk about, my position on the right to kneel. And I've done lives about, Nike and Colin Kaepernick and things along those lines. And people don't always agree with me. And that's okay. I just want to clarify, because it's really important to me that even if it turns out you don't like me because of my beliefs, that's fine, right? The idea is not to make you agree with me. The idea is to share with you my thoughts and perspectives on things, just like I have with Ballad Health, just like I have with Senator Rusty Crowe. And then even if we disagree, at least we understand each other's position a little bit better. Like, that to me is how it works. The other day, someone said to me, our differences are what make us, she was in a debate with me, and she said, isn't it our differences that make us great? And I said, no, that's not what makes us great. It's respecting and accepting our differences that makes us great, right? We're different whether we like it or not, right? What makes us great and what can make us amazing as neighborhoods and communities and as a country is respecting and accepting that we are different. You know what I mean? So to me, that's at the end of the day what I really and truly believe. So here's my thing. So somebody asked me why I seem to be focused on Republican Senator Rusty Crowe and not the Democrats in Virginia about the ballot health issue. And it's really simple. It's only been 2.5 days, folks, and I actually do work for a living. Like, nobody's paying me to research everything happening in Ballad Health. I work, I have a life, and I've only had 2 days to start digging. Give me time. I promise you, I don't have a political agenda. My agenda is to protect the health and well-being of the people in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. That's the agenda, okay? It's not a political one. If you have followed my other political posts, you will see that so for example, I'm going to use this one as an example. I don't even like, I agree with some of the things that Maxine Waters says, but I have actually told people on my live that I don't agree with how she behaves. I don't agree with the things that she says. And I'm going to give you an example, okay? Follow me on this, folks. So when the pipe bombs were being found, whether you think it was valid or not or whatever, right? When those things were happening, they weren't just being sent to her. We can all agree on that. They were found in other people's places. And at the time that those pipe bombs were found at her place, right? We didn't know who the person was, and that person was not in custody. So we had no idea who else was being targeted. And when Maxine came out, and she did that little video. At the end of her video, she was like, well, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm here to do this, and I'm here to do that. And I ain't, like the young people say, I ain't scared. And I told people on my live, I don't like that. And I'll tell you why I don't like it. It's divisive. So here's the thing for me. I don't care if you're independent, Republican, or Democrat. What I care about is what's coming out of your mouth for the good and well-being of this country. That's what I care about. So for people who, because I know that back home where I'm from is Trump country. I know that. I get it, right? But to me, that's not the point, right? What I care about, this is the same thing with Ballad Health. What I care about is the well-being of people and humanity, folks. Like, that's it to me. So the same way I feel like there should be no discussion whether or not, 100 babies matter or one baby matters when it comes to Ballad Health, because that's just humanity, right? We should just care about those things. It's the same way that I feel about everything else. I am not a person, I don't allow racist stuff in my feeds when I go live. Whether you are Black, whether you are white, whether you are brown, whether you are purple, if you come on my lives and you degrade or you put another group of people down because of their skin color, because of their political affiliation, if you make those broad things, I have issue with that. So Jean, listen, so you said Republicans need to understand, politicians need to understand. Republicans are not the only dirty politicians. It's everywhere. It's rampant. Like, period. Nobody's party comes first. So just check out your language. When you say Republicans need to understand this, your ideology doesn't come first, your party doesn't come first, the people come first. Here's what I said. As soon as the Democrats took control of the House, here's what I said. I hope they just don't go out and just start really going after Trump, just like balls to the wall, just crazy, because it can be a bad thing for the country. It can be a bad thing. So people, listen. If you don't know me, many of you all just started following me, and you may see me share something and you have no idea this morning I was called a globalist. I was called a socialist. I was told I'm what's wrong with this country. Like, literally, I was told I am what's wrong with this country today. And I think, really? Because to me, somebody who cares about people, regardless of your skin color, regardless of your economic class, regardless of your profession, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of your gender, regardless of your gender orientation, your sexual orientation, your gender identity. Like, I think someone who cares about human beings, period, is a good thing. Just saying. Like, and I know that I'm not going to please everybody. I know that. And that's okay, because I don't care. I care and I don't care, if that makes sense, right? I care and I don't care. So here's what I want you to understand. My issue is with politicians, corporations, who are taking advantage of its citizens and constituents, and in this case, your patients. I have heard stories. I woke up today to 37 messages from people terrified that they were going to lose their jobs for standing up for what's right, terrified that they were going to not have employment. Because check this out, Ballad Health isn't just a medical monopoly in terms of patient care. In this region of the country, it's a medical monopoly when it comes to employment. And that is scary for folks. That's super scary for folks. So I will tell you this, I'm never sharing your names. If you tell me something, I'm never sharing. I've had people tell me that the cancer center, that the rates since Ballad took over, since the merger was approved, that the rates have tripled, that they have been told to collect money up front for patients before giving care to make sure that they get their money. I have been told that Ballad no longer employs an entire anesthesiology department, and it's been outsourced to another company that's been bid out. Like, it's just like the things that I'm hearing about job losses and the things that I'm hearing about people being threatened, if they speak up about their own well-being, these things are concerning to me. And I don't care about anything else. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there's a whole lot happening with this stuff. And here's what I want you to understand. Like I said, I know that some of you all don't know me. You're just now being introduced to me. And it's funny because, like, my Ballad folks, you guys are behind me because I'm helping be your voice, and I am honored to be your voice. I can never repay the nurses at Holston Valley for giving me my granddaughter. I can never repay them. I can't. So the only thing that I can do is use a social media platform and the brain that my mama gave me and put a little energy into finding out everything that I can to help. Like, that's all I can do. So that's what I'm doing. And I might not be doing it exactly the way that everybody thinks that I should, or as fast as everybody thinks that I should, but I'm giving you guys the best that I got, and it doesn't mean that you're going to agree with everything else that I agree on. I get that. That's okay. I don't think that because you disagree with me, you should personally attack me like that. I don't think, because I'm not doing it to you. I don't do it to you. So I don't think that you should do it to me. I mean, you're entitled to if you want to, but I don't. Like, I just don't. Good morning, Otis. Good morning, Pam. Here's my thing. This is my stance about taking a knee. I believe it's an American right to take a knee, the same way I believe it's an American right to hold a KKK rally, right? I might not like either one of those two things. I might like one and I might not like the other, but we're in America, folks. Like, that's the whole idea, is that as long as I'm not hurting you, as long as my exercising my rights does not infringe upon your rights, I'm allowed to do that. That's freedom. That's why I put on boots and Kevlar and join the military, because that is freedom. It's what I believe. I really do. You don't have to like it, but it's freedom. You don't have to like Jim Acosta. And I know that he pisses the president off sometimes. I know they're in a little bit of a war, but it is free press. I understand the importance of free press in this country. I understand it. And so I support it. I don't have to, just the way I don't necessarily have to support Maxine Waters, I support free press and the freedom of speech. I think so, Sue. That's my thing. I do think that we need to learn to be more tolerant of different opinions, and not just tolerant, but I want to see it from your perspective. Like, growing up in Bristol, it was really challenging for me because it was a very lonely kind of way to grow up. Because, like, I went to Holston View in my elementary school years. And there were like maybe 5 or 6 of us who were minorities there. And, I used to get into fights because I was called nigger all the time on the bus. And then when I went to Fairmount, my 4th grade year, because I was being picked on and I was a straight A student, but I was fighting because people were calling me names. So my 4th grade year, I transferred schools and I went to Fairmount. And then when I went to Fairmount, The black kids there called me zebra and Oreo because I was mixed. You know, we have to understand. I don't get it. I don't get it, and it hurts my heart. I have told people for the last 2 years that you can't call President Trump 45 or orange. You want to know why? Because 45 is a number and orange is a color. Colors and numbers don't have souls, they don't have spirits, they don't have emotions. When we start to talk to each other with words that demean us, that dehumanize us, okay? When you talk to somebody and you call them a word repeatedly that dehumanizes them, it gives you permission to treat them as less than human. You got that? Thank you, Kevin. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily have to like everything that this administration is doing. I'm also not going to talk to someone like they're not a human being at the end of the day, because humanity is what matters. This is the point. This is what I want you guys to understand. We don't have to agree on itty bitty things, but we have to be able to agree that we are all human beings and we deserve to be treated with respect and compassion and empathy, and at least try to understand where the other one is coming from. So when you scroll through my timeline, folks, you're not going to agree with everything that is what I think about something. That's okay. I can tell you that everything that I believe at the end of the day is in not harming other people. I have a motto in this life, and it's do no harm and take no shit. That's my motto in life. Do no harm and take no shit. I have a t-shirt that I wear that says it. And so with Ballad, we're not taking your shit, right? And with other people, I'm not doing you harm intentionally. So what I would ask is that you do the same with me. If it is not true, if it is not kind, if it is not progressive, if it does not heal, if it does not grow, then don't say it. That's it. This is who I am. This is who I am. I don't care about Republican or Democrat. I care about this world. I was meditating a couple of weeks ago, and I will tell y'all this. I heard God say this. I'm a disabled veteran, for those of you guys who don't know. And so my pain level every day is about a 4, give or take, whether I exercise or don't. And so because of that, and I was diagnosed with Graves' disease and some other things. And so because of that, I'm very diligent about working out. I'm very diligent about what I eat and things like that. And I was meditating and praying, talking about, everything that I see going on in politics and all of the hatred and division. And I was like, God, what do we do? What do we do? And clear as a bell, this is what I heard God say to me. God said, you have to be as diligent about creating the world that you want to live in as you are about creating the body that you want to live in. Literally, that's what God said to me, because I'm pretty diligent about my workout and I'm pretty diligent about what I eat. And God said, you have to be as diligent about creating the world that you want to live in as you are. Most of the time we go home, and if it doesn't affect us at home, if it doesn't directly affect our families, we tend to just keep moving through life, because it can be overwhelming when you look at all of the things that are going on. But I've come to this place in my life where here's what I know. I can't sit idly by and not do anything and not say anything and not try to fix it and not try to say anything, because that's if that's what am I leaving my grandbabies? Bella's here, Dominic's here. What am I leaving them if I don't try to help, if I don't try to fix things? You know what I mean? So for all of you guys that have your heels dug in and you want to be divisive over politics, that's not me. I can have conversations with you about policies and thought processes and understand that my beliefs are always going to be rooted in humanity. That's going to be the core of everything that I believe. Because I believe, I just believe that. My friend just joined in here, Amira, and she always says charity starts at home. We have to be focused on our conversations and with our friends, with our communities, with our loved ones. Thank you, Denise. You have known me for 40 years. And here's my thing, Donna, I see things that I don't agree with, right? And sometimes saying nothing is best, but sometimes having the conversation is good too, right? Because if we don't talk about it, then you don't understand my experience and I don't understand your experience. Like when people talk about truth is subjective. Truth is subjective. So let me tell you what I believe truth is made up of. Truth is made up of the facts, like what actually happened, and your experience of it. And those two things combined together determine your truth, right? So the way that I feel about racism and prejudice and judgment, I have a different experience of it than some of my Black friends and some of my white friends because I'm biracial. So my truth about racism is going to be different than somebody else's truth because my experience is different. So we can all agree on the facts, like the things that actually happen, right? And then we can share our experiences from a place of wanting to empathize and understand each other. And then we learn what makes up each other's truth. And even if we don't say, okay, I get on board and I agree with you, at least if nothing else, I now understand you. I now understand. And I can respect your position. You know what I'm saying? That to me is how we move forward. That to me is how we heal. That to me, because more division is not the answer. 1 week ago, I was on a live and I had a Black guy on my live tell me that the only reason I was supportive of inclusion is because there was nobody around to tell my Black daddy not to marry my white mama. Like, in what world do you think that that's ever okay to say to a human being? I just don't get it. So here's the deal. This is who I am. If you didn't know me before, if you are one of the 1,700 people that have started following me in the last 48 hours, this is who I am. This is me. What I care about is people. So, and here's the thing. So, Alan, I get that sometimes it's not possible to have a conversation with everyone, right? I get that, right? And so sometimes we just pick and choose. We pick and choose. We pick and choose. My whole thing is I have a heart for this. So I'm willing to talk more than other people are. Thank you, Corey. I'm willing to talk more than, like, I had somebody tell me today, why are you going back and forth with that person? And I was like, listen, let's just say I go back and forth with this person for 10 minutes. And at the end of this 10 minutes, we now have a better understanding of each other and we know how to see each other as human beings and people. That's a win for me. That's a good investment of my time. Somebody asked me, about me spending, the extra time on ballad issues. And like what I normally would make per hour and so forth and so on. And I said, listen, at the end of this, let's just say that I give this whole ballad issue, I don't know, 40, 80 hours of my time. If at the end of that, 800,000 people in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia have better healthcare options. They don't have to be scared they're going to lose their jobs for speaking up. They don't have to be worried that their babies are going to die before they get to care. They don't have to worry about having heart attacks and having to travel 85 miles. If at the end of those 80 hours I give of my time, that happens, and I die the day after, I will die so happy because I literally want to live a life of contribution. I want to be able to say that I have contributed in this world more than I have criticized. You know what I mean? So I wanted to share because I saw some people commenting, and I know that you guys don't know me, so you're digging through my feed. Social media, unless you hear me, just seeing something I share, you may not know who I am. So I wanted to take a minute and clarify, this is who I am. Like me, don't like me, it's okay. This is who I am, okay? I am doing more research and have got some more things. There will be another live on the Ballad Issue on Monday at 9 p.m. Unless I find out something astronomically huge before then, that will be the live, because tomorrow I have to actually record the podcast episode that recaps the last week. So I need to do podcast tomorrow and then another live on Monday. For my Georgia folks, you all know I shared that Stacey Abrams yesterday acknowledged that Brian Kemp was going to be certified as the winner. I'm going to do a recap on that just so that we all understand, kind of where we are and what we do next, So thank you guys very, very much. I'm with you there, Otis. All people. I'm a little bit of all that too. I'm a little bit of all that too. I'm intercontinental-ish. And you know what, Vonetta, I miss doing free hugs in Charlotte. I'm going to come back. I need to come back and maybe schedule maybe one twice a year. I don't want to just abandon it. So, maybe we'll work that out. So I appreciate you guys. Something that I'm really thinking about is I'm thinking about maybe how to be able to do more of this and really dig in. I'm thinking about maybe putting up a page on my website where you guys are able to send me information if you think that there's something going on in your communities and in your cities that is a violation of your rights, that is corrupt, that is whatever, and then maybe setting up a way for people to be able to donate, or if somebody wanted to sponsor, and that way I could even be able to travel and get access to public records that I can't, from where I'm at. I don't know right now. I'm just kind of thinking out loud and seeing what happens. So I'm going to get off here now and go back to doing my work. I just wanted to clarify a few things, let you know who I am, what I believe, and that's it. Okay. So y'all know how I end this. Be amazing, be light, and be love. We'll talk soon. Bye.